Welcome, No Nation Renegade Fight Crew. We're back. This is game week. This is game week. We got a lot of good stuff for you today. Uh, we got a lot, well, not a lot to talk about, but we got some to talk about. And not only do we got some to talk about, we got a great topic for you today. Who are the guys? Who are the guys we need to keep an eye on in 2026 Florida State football season? Who are they? We got a lot of names that could be on this list. We got a lot of names that could make an impact that we may not mention. But these are some of the names that I have come up with. And just in my mind, um, they're some of the guys that you might want to keep an eye on this year because I feel like they'll make an impact. So let's get right on into it. The first guy that we'll talk about is offensive lineman Nate Pass. Um, of course, we know Pass is a returning player from last year's offensive line. Pass is bringing stability to this offensive line. He's bringing experience to this offensive line. Hey, guess what? He's bringing toughness, wisdom, uh, and all of the athleticism from last season. Pass was a key player, a key part in the offensive line. So yes, going into training camp, spring camp, fall camp, Pass has been making an impact. In 2026, he's expected to flourish as a player. Not only flourish as a player, be a leader. He is expected to be a leader along the offensive line and the offense. Pass is like we said earlier. He's bringing the stability, experience. He's bringing the toughness along this offensive line. Now, this entire offensive line under Coach Herb Hand is going to be phenomenal this year. Coach Hand is getting the best out of each player, whether you be first team, whether you be second team, whether you be a part-time player, or maybe you be a cleanup player if the game is out of hand and you just put in some guys you just want to see work a little bit. Coach Hand is getting the best out of each individual of that offensive line and offensive line room. And Pastor is one of the guys that is jumping from leaps and bounds, trying to be a better player. I can't wait to see what Pass do this year. I don't know what part of the offensive line he will exactly play because on his resume, a lot of people don't know it. On his resume, Pass can play both guard positions, right and left guard, and he can play both tackle positions, right tackle and left tackle. Uh, Depending on who we play in what week, depending on what suits him best, what where is he gonna play? Uh, Me personally, I think he looks really, really good at the right guard position. Uh, he's comfortable there. To me, he's comfortable there. Not saying he's not comfortable in other places, but to me, he just looks comfortable at that right guard position. So just to keep an eye on him because he's moving along the offensive line, and we got a lot of good teams that we got to play this year. And we'll get down to the schedule breakdown later on in other episode. Uh, Pass is one that is going to be somebody that you want to keep an eye on this year. Next up, player we're going to talk about is receiver, wide receiver, Javon Boggs. Um, Boggs is like Pass. He is also a returning player. Boggs will be called on tremendously this season to be a key player. He's gonna be a key player in this offense, and Boggs is gonna be one of those players to take the pressure off of players, other receivers like Lopez, Deuce Robinson, Michael Danzig. Javon Boggs is one that he is a great route runner. He's one that he can get open. He can make a play. He's a returning player from the 2025 season, as we already know. Um, his stats wasn't like the greatest, but this season I feel like even if they're not the greatest, he's one of those players that when Deuce gets double teamed, when Danzy gets double teamed, Boggs can be that open target that other teams may not think about and can get some targets, get some catches, make some plays, get some long runs. We need that. In this receiver room, Coach Tim Harris, offensive coordinator, is getting the best out of Javon Boggs, putting him in different places on the offense, playing him inside slot, playing him on the outside to be a deep threat, playing him on left or right side of the field, playing up against a taller defensive back or shorter defensive back. The coaches are getting the best out of these players from Florida State this year, putting them up against situations that you're going to see from other teams that's going to be putting pressure on you. Boggs is ready for the challenge. I think that Boggs is going to be one of those guys that you're going to see packages on the field where you might get Boggs, Lopez, and Danzy on the field at the same time. Okay, well, if you get that kind of package and say Lopez gets doubled because you're having a hot night tonight, that opens the realm up for Danzy to be another a hot target. And it also opens Boggs up to be a hot target to receive some good plays. So Boggs is going to be great. Now, what if you get another package to where you get Deuce Robinson, Lopez, and Boggs? Well, we already know that Deuce Robinson is projected to be one of the top players in all of the NCAA this year as a receiver. So a lot of teams are going to have their eye on Deuce Robinson and try to take him out of the game. Boggs can be that player that can take the pressure off and make catches and make plays. Now, the secondary and the defensive coordinator for opposing teams, they don't know really who to stop deep threat or stop as a receiving threat. Boggs is one of those sleeper players this year that I feel like he can make an impact this year. Guy that you want to keep an eye on because the first 3 weeks really will tell the story for me about what Boggs can be for the whole year because we have New Mexico State coming on Saturday, August 29th. That's the first game of the year. You got SMU, the second game of the year, right? SMU is good defensively. So that for Boggs can really tell the story on how good he can be for the rest of the year. And then, of course, week 3, we have Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So we're going to be up for a challenge. Can Boggs accept the challenge? I think Boggs will be all right. I think he's going to be all right. Next duo, I'll say it like that. The next duo that we'll talk about now is both running backs, Cromar and Trey Wisner. We know Trey Wisner came from Texas this past season. If I'm not mistaken, Wisner was a 1,000-yard rusher. Cromar for Florida State in 2025 was a great back. I want to say he rushed for somewhere anywhere between the 500 and 700-yard mark. Cromar is a pounder. Cromar is a bruiser. Cromar is one that I find the hole and can pound. Now, he didn't get a lot of opportunity last year because it was running back by committee. So you had a lot of people that had a lot to say in that backfield. But Trey Wisner was more like a one-man back in his offense. So seeing both of these backs, Cromar and Wisner, together in the backfield, it's not really a matter of who's going to start. It's not a matter of who's going to get more playing time because both of these guys are the same back to me. Wisner, he's a speedster. He's a bruiser. He can attack our defense just like Cromar. I said it before. I say it again. It's going to be a lot of packages that Cromar and Wisner are in the backfield together. Who do you stop? Both can catch the ball out of the backfield and make plays. You know the key to touchdowns. Carry the ball, get first downs. Get first downs. First downs move the chains. If you're moving the chains through first downs on the ground, then you're going to be in the red zone. Well, once you get in the red zone, start pounding, those are touchdowns. Well, guess what? First downs lead to touchdowns. Touchdowns lead to points on the board. And these two guys, Cromar and Wisner, as a duo, these guys can pound the ball. They will pound the ball. They will bruise a defense. The matter of fact is, or however you want to say it, can both of them get the same amount of playing time so that they can be effective together versus you seeing one or the other get a lot of playing time, one don't, and you really don't have an effective offense? Let the offense be effective by utilizing both players versus just one today and one next week, or one for 5 games straight and one. They're a better duo together. And I think Coach Norvell and Coach Tim Harris is now I ain't gonna say figuring it out, but they have figured it out to get both of these guys on the field together so that we can ground and pound, because that'll take the pressure off of the receivers too, and the receivers don't have to do much work offensively carrying the load. So if we can run the ball effectively, the pass game will be there. If you pass the ball effectively, the run game is there. Hey, we got a well-oiled machine offensively. So both running backs, Cromar and Wisner, ones to watch in 2026, impact players. Next player we'll talk about is Caleb Lavalle. We know that Lavalle is a key returner from last year's defense. Um, he didn't make a lot of noise last year, but I think this is his year. And he is a leader. Lavalle is a leader. He was a silent, quiet leader last year. I think he'll be more vocal this year on the field, seeing time. Um, as we know, Lavalle brings experience from last year's team under coach defensive coordinator Tony White. Not only that, Lavalle brings toughness. Lavalle brings toughness, even though, like I'm saying, he didn't make an impact really last year. He don't think he played much, but this is his year. He got he this linebacker room under coach Tony White and linebacker coach I don't forgot his name, draw a blank, but Lavalle is going to be one or Ernie Sims is going to be an impact player. Lavalle is going to be called on a lot this year, and I want to see what he does. So Lavalle is going to be nice to watch this year, and also Lavalle's brother is on the team as well. So if the Lavalle brothers get on the field together, what does that look like? We don't know. So let's keep an eye on that. Next player we'll talk about, defensive lineman. Defensive lineman, Rylan Kennedy. If I'm not mistaken, Rylan Kennedy played for Texas A&M last year. This Rylan Kennedy will be a key addition to the defensive line. Okay, of course, he'll be playing alongside of the Zier brothers, the twins. You know my name for them, the Troublemakers. Um, Rylan Kennedy be a great addition to this defensive line, being a key addition. Rylan Kennedy brings toughness. He brings stability. He brings awareness to this defensive line. Um, this guy played 37 games within his career, and last season Kennedy tallied up 40 tackles. He had 3.5 sacks, and he had 5.5 tackle for loss. So we know that he can get in a backfield, and I know those tackles are low, and I know his stats might be a little low, but you're only playing 12 games. So if you're only playing 12 games, you can make an impact. You're not going to make all the tackles on the team every game, but you can make an impact without making tackles. Like I said for the Twins, troublemaker. Kennedy is a troublemaker as well. because if you're not making the play, you can call somebody else to make the play. And Rylan Kennedy is one of those players. I think he's going to be in the backfield a lot this year, making tackle for losses, getting a sack, forcing a fumble, getting a fumble recovery. This big boy here, when he lines up, he's going to line up and he's going to put his hat on somebody's hat and he's going to drive them off the line. Seen some of the fall camp practices, uh, and he was moving the line of scrimmage. So this guy, Riley Kennedy, he's gonna be a tough guy. He's gonna be a tough guy, and that's what we need on this defense: tough guys. And this Riley Kennedy is just exactly that. The next guy that we'll talk about, excited to talk about him, defensive back, defensive get back, Ashlyn Barker. Ashlyn Barker, we already know, defensive back. He was on this team last year. He's going to be called on this 2026 season to be a lockdown corner. He's going to be a lockdown corner in the secondary. If I'm not mistaken, he can play a little bit of cornerback. He can play a little bit of rover, meaning you can move him around anywhere in the secondary and he can play. I think he can play a little bit of safety. This is a defensive back that is a defensive back. And when you're defensive back true to the heart, like Ashton Barker, we know that we're known for DBU. Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, Leroy Butler. We got guys down through the years, uh, that have played in this backfield and can make a play. Ashton Barker is one of these guys. Um, in 2026, Ashton Barker totaled 48 tackles. He had 3.5 sacks. He had 2 pass deflections. Now, the 2 pass deflections, that was in 2025. I think those deflections going to go up tremendously. He'll probably get about 6 to 9, somewhere in there this year. A lot of teams, once they figure out that Ashland is going to be a lockdown corner, the ball really ain't even going to go that way. They're not even going to throw and try to test him because they know he's going to make a play. So that's a good threat too. I'm scared to throw over there because I know he's going to make a play. So guess what? Ashton Barker is going to be one to watch in 2026. He's going to be one of those guys like Antonio Cromartie used to be for us. Tall, lanky guy. It could lock down any receiver that lined up against him. Ashton Barker is going to be one of those guys that you want to keep an eye on this season, and other teams are going to keep an eye on him this season because he's going to make a play. So we got the list out for you. Players to watch in 2026. Nate Pass, offensive lineman. Receiver, Javon Boggs. Both running backs, Cromont and Trey Wisner. Caleb LaValle, linebacker. Defensive line, Rylan Kennedy. And of course, we talked about defensive back, Ashland Barker. So these guys, hey, and it's a whole lot of other names, like I said earlier, that we could have named that might that could be on this list. But just this is a few guys that we wanted to point out. So hey, just wanted to let you know about that. So this is all we got for today. We got another episode, some more things to talk about. This is game week. So we'll be breaking down the introduction of the New Mexico State game. If you're new to this channel, uh, game week during the season are different than off seasons. We give you the introduction of every game, every week, every game. We also give you later on in the week players to watch, keys to the game. And then we'll also break down the the post game of every game, letting you know what happened in the game and give you stats behind it. So if you're new to this channel, we talk a lot this year, and we'll be on giving you the great content that you like. And I just encourage everyone, like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend about us. Find us on Instagram. We got a lot of stuff on Instagram that we've been posting. So go check us out. Hey, the 2026 season motto is new season, new fight. Go Noles.